Ladies and gentlemen, the fifth inductee into the 2026 Ovens and Murray Football Netball League Hall of Fame is Brad Murray.
A career that rode the highs and lows, Brad Murray quickly established himself as a regular member of Myrtleford's senior team in 2000, and at the age of only 17. The previous years had been a battle, as they often were for the club from the smallest town in the O&M. But the arrival of a new coach and a swag of star recruits from Western Australia set the excitement levels alight in the hills. Myrtleford surged into its first grand final since winning its only flag 31 years earlier, but found Lavington a bridge too far on the biggest day. In 2002, Murray headed west for the first of two highly successful stints at state league level, joining West Perth where he won a flag, claimed a club's best and fairest, and represented Western Australia in 3 seasons in the Waffle. The star midfielder was lured home at the end of 2004 as Myrtleford embarked on another major on-field revival. From wooden spooners, the Saints were soon on the charge under new coach Travis Hodgson and another influx of star recruits. A 4-week stint on the sidelines with a broken arm couldn't stop Murray claiming the Morris Medal. But on the cusp of a drought-breaking flag, Myrtleford had to contend with a 1-match suspension that threatened to see their best player miss the grand final. Murray's suspension was overturned on appeal, and he was free to play in the grand final that ended with the Saints going down in the most heartbreaking of ways, a goal after the siren. More grand final pain came the following season for the Saints when Yarrawonga blew them out of the water with a 10-goal first term with the assistance of a howling breeze. Port Adelaide wooed Murray to the sandful, and again he would dominate at the higher level, winning the club's best and fairest in 2009 by almost 100 votes. Murray returned to Myrtleford for his third stint that included the elevation to coaching. The extra responsibilities didn't dim his on-field brilliance, winning 3 best and fairest in 4 seasons and boosting his O&M Interleague appearances to 6. In one last hurrah, Murray returned again in 2019 and helped the Saints to a preliminary final finish. Brad Murray, a fantastic inductee into the Ovens and Murray Hall of Fame.
As I said earlier, it's really difficult to cover the careers of some of these boys, but when we're finished, I'll try and cut back across some of what Brad has achieved. But similar to Nick, talking to footy club people and a few of the presidents of Myrtleford, as a kid you were fairly focused on footy, and I won't say you're a pest, but you're around the footy club with your brothers, and that's how you got involved and you got that focus of being involved.
Yeah, definitely. Memories of being a little kid around the club. I actually started playing soccer when we were as young as I could remember. I played soccer up till I was about under 12s and then shifted to footy. So yeah, just fond memories of being around the footy club as a young fella, running the water, doing the scoreboard for the under 18s, anything that was a little fella could do without getting in the way pretty much. We used to collect our $10 for our efforts. So yeah, I remember Andy Dale was senior coach there for a while, and he'd give us $2 to go and get him a coffee or just anything back in the day. But yeah, just grew up being around the club, so fond memories, and yeah, worked me way through the ranks from there, I guess.
Ian Wales was one of your coaches, and I talked to Bimbo the other day a couple of times, and we talked about you as a boy of 17 making your debut in the year 2000, and then around about that time, you also were selected to play some games for the Murray Kangaroos, which was North Melbourne's VFL affiliate side, which a few of us were involved in. So it was an exciting time for you as a young fellow.
Yeah, 2000 was the first year in the seniors. So 2001 got a chance to play in the Murray Kangaroos that year, so that was a great experience. But I could have debuted as a 16-year-old, but Bimbo Wales was coach of Myrtleford at that time. He said I was probably going to play that week. And then leading into the game, he said, "No, you're not going to play, I'm going to play." So he brought himself out of retirement to play himself. I'm not sure how he went that day, but end up debuting in the year 2000 under Luke Rayner. So that was the start. So yeah, obviously was rapt to be playing seniors at that point.
So people now probably forget, but Myrtleford went through a fantastic period for a brief time. Unfortunately, didn't get over the line, but grand finals in 2001, again beaten by Lavey. But then you headed off to West Perth, and you really dominated over there, representing the state as well at waffle level.
Yeah, it was a bit of an unknown for me. Like Luke Rayner was our senior coach at Myrtleford in the grand final year in 01. He coached for 3 years. He brought the Rigol brothers and Ronnie Skender as well, who were a huge part of in us making the grand final in 2001. And when those guys went back, I just tried to chance my luck and play waffle. And Nara mentioned Darren Harris, a legend of Wodonga Raiders, was the coach of West Perth. And I feel like my time over there was made even more special by Darren Harris as a coach. He was obviously from this part of the world. Jeff Valentine, a couple of other guys, and I went over there as a 20-year-old with no expectation. Thought it'd be good to play a few league games, but it all worked out well. We played in a flag and ended up going reasonably well. Went from a winger from Myrtleford to end up playing in the midfield over there, and I guess it just sort of kick-started me into gear a bit with the training standards and the different level of footy. I got a lot out of it, and it sort of, I guess, held me in good stead for the future, I guess. And Darren Harris's philosophies as a coach and as a player he was country. It was a state league, but he was a country bloke at heart. Everything was good for footy, and the social side of it was good. And his motto was just be the best you can be, and that was something I sort of tried to stick with throughout my career. And going over to the waffle was a huge learning curve for me, and something that held me in good stead for the rest of my footy journey, I guess.
One of the comments that I got from a lot of people, Brad, was your philosophy playing and as a coach was go hard, and if that doesn't work, go harder. So not a lot of science about some of that, but watching you play footy, that's how you were. I want to quickly talk about 2005. You're beaten by Lavey. Obviously, we all know you're beaten by a point, but there was a fair bit occurred before we got that to the grand final day. So some people won't know. Share that story for those who may not know.
Yeah, obviously leading into the grand final, I got reported in the second semi playing against Wang, and obviously it was a pretty average experience, really, to be honest, being captain. I was only 23. I was captain at 23 back then, and all you want to do is lead your footy club into a grand final and obviously get the ultimate success. But once that incident happened, it was a pretty average experience, to be honest. Got rubbed out for a week, and then we appealed it and eventually got off. So not an ideal way to go into a grand final, that's for sure, but it led into a negative result in the grand final as well. So not a great experience, to be honest, those couple of weeks, but that's just a part of the footy journey, isn't it?
Well, it was, and I see Fox is here, former president. People may not realise, but I think Myrtleford was the first footy club that ever got Ian Finlay out of Melbourne to come up and do a tribunal hearing, and guess who he had, and he got off. So after that, Ian's been a regular visitor up here over many years. But 2006...
He was a good operator, pretty much. He was a very good operator.
So probably a brown paper bag at the back of the pub door, I'd reckon, in those days.
I think Foxy sorted that one out.
And interestingly enough, 2006, Timmy mentioned before that Yarra beat you, but then you headed off to Port Adelaide and played Sandful. And it's in club history over there that he won the best and fairest by over 100 votes. He played against the current coach, Josh Carr. This man had a phenomenal career. He should have really been playing a couple of hundred games of AFL footy, but he chose not to. I want to quickly talk about interleague. You're one of the best interleague players we ever had, but I still haven't forgiven you. You played for us, but then you spent some time in the GV after being in Melbourne. You went to Echuca and you played against us, and you beat us at Lavington.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Graham Hart might remember, and Mick Wilson and a few others, but interleague was important to you.
Yeah, I loved interleague. I loved playing the highest level I could. Obviously, whenever I could represent the Ovens and Murray, I would, and obviously a couple of years at Echuca in the GV and put my hand up to play in the rep footy there, and we happened to play against the Ovens and Murray, so it was at Lavington here, and felt a bit weird actually, because I hadn't been back for a few years, so I think butted head with blokes like Joel Mackey and a few of those sort of blokes, so that was good fun and good memories, good standard of footy. So.
Craig Edney told me that the only reason you won the best on-ground medal in that game because he didn't play, so have that conversation with him later, but you went out to Rennie, like a lot of the other boys, and played in a flag with Craig out there. But I want to finish up our discussion before I hand over to you. You've gone back to Myrtleford again, and the last time you were there, you won 3 best and fairest, pretty extraordinary, but you're back now helping Craig. You're a midfield coach, and I mentioned to you on the phone a couple of days ago that realistically this could be the year for Myrtleford.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility for sure. The guys are going really well. Really enjoy being involved and just trying to put back a little bit into the club. Funky and Sharpie and the boys have got the club in a really good position, not only on field but off field. And obviously the club's going pretty well at the moment in terms of sitting third on the ladder. But there's still a bit to go. So the club's in a really good position. So great bunch of people leading the club and not only on field but off field as well. The club's in a really good position. In my time, I haven't seen the club as strong as it is on and off field. So who knows? You just got to get yourself fit at the end of the year and see how we go. So
I think that's great news for Luke Chapman, the president, and there's 4 or 5 ex-presidents of Myrtleford here tonight. It's just fantastic to see so much support for you, Brad, but that's the degree of respect that they have and we all have as a football community in your contribution. So very well done, and I'll hand the microphone over to you.
all right, thanks. Gone the modern way, not the old piece of paper in the pocket like everyone else. Yeah, I'll keep this relatively short, but yeah, just like to follow on from a few of the other people and just say to all the other inductees tonight, congratulations. It's a huge privilege to be involved in the night, and to be inducted is a huge honour and something I hold in very high regard. So thanks very much to the Hall of Fame committee for being acknowledged, and to the Ovens of Murray as well. I love being involved in this footy league for a long time. I looked up to it as a kid. I thought the Ovens of Murray was the biggest thing ever as a young fella. So to play here in the Ovens of Murray, and obviously for Myrtleford, has been a huge privilege. So to the Myrtleford Footy Club, yeah, I'm just really proud to be able to say that I sort of grew up at the club, and it's all I knew. And I guess to finish my career, I've only ever played at Myrtleford. I love the club immensely. So I'd like to thank everyone involved at the footy club, to this day and obviously in the past. It's been a huge privilege. Yeah, it's hard to put into words. Obviously, we've played in 3 losing grand finals, so that's what everyone plays footy for, is to get that ultimate success. But we've done everything we can to put ourselves in situations to be able to win, and we just fell short. So looking forward to the day where we can get over the line, and hopefully it's in the near future. Thank you to the footy club, to the players, and obviously the volunteers and supporters that are still there from when I first started playing footy, and the supporters and the volunteers are still there today. So the footy club doesn't function without them, and to be such a small, I guess, community playing against a lot bigger communities in our league, I feel very proud to be involved in, and love our, I guess, small fish in a big pond mentality, where we just keep fighting and backing up to do our best. So thank you to, obviously they've got a few people that have come over today, some of the current players, Sharpie and Broads and Mitch, and a little surprise I got today, Christian Height, who's here. He's made the trip, surprised me a bit, but I've played a lot of footy with Heidi over the last, 10 years, I guess. But for him to make the effort, I really appreciate it. To my family, to mum and dad, thanks so much for everything you've done in my footy career. Obviously, travelled around, pretty much got around to most of Australia. So you've always been pretty quickly to come and watch a few games, and Trapper. We've had some good car rides together. A couple of interesting car rides out to, I think it was Catamatite and the Mathaura woodcutters, and out at Rennie. So some good memories there. Couldn't do it all without my folks, and to me brother Mark and Hayden, who have been a huge part of my journey as well. They're here tonight as well. We've fortunate enough to be able to play senior footy at Myrtleford together as well. So I obviously cherish those times, and you have always been huge supporters of mine. So thank you too as well. Obviously to Jane and the kids, very special to be able to get the kids, especially tonight. A couple of them look like they're nearly asleep. They didn't really get to see me play much footy, so I've told them of late that I was pretty good, but I don't think they believe me. So I said, you can come tonight and have a listen. And so, but no, obviously put a lot of time on footy. Like footy for me was obviously one of my biggest passions in life. Like I loved footy, I loved training, I loved playing, I loved competing, I love 2 o'clock on a Saturday, running out for Myrtleford, competing and just going as hard as I could to, I guess, mainly to be as consistent as, and I just tried to inspire my teammates on the field to try and win a game of footy. So I never took a hanger. I was never doing anything fancy. It was just, I just loved the heat of the moment, being in the battle, winning a stoppage, the full forward marks it, and you give yourself a fist pump. You're like, yes, come on, that feels good. That was about as good as it got. So I just wanted to be a reliable teammate that just was consistent, and obviously loved competing. I loved the battle. I love the opposition battles. I love the friction, but I played as hard as I could, but I would be the first player to have a beer with anyone I just competed against. So hopefully that's reflected in my opponents, I guess. So I got a bit off track there. So Jane, and obviously Jane being a huge supporter of mine. Yeah, obviously weren't involved in the initial stages, but the latter part of being a coach, and you can't do anything or be involved in footy club without a supportive wife and family. So thanks very much. And we've been through a little bit over the journey as well. So you've come through it smiling and a huge supporter, and love you dearly. So thank you for that. And I just want to finish off by saying this is a huge privilege. I'm very honoured. It's been a very humbling experience, to be honest. I felt a little bit weird about it. I feel like it wasn't that long ago. I was sort of still playing. So to be acknowledged in this way, it's very humbling and something I hold very dearly. So thank you for the nomination, and thanks for the night. So all the best.
So multiple club best and first, grand finals, interleague representative, state representative, league medal, O&M team of the last 25 years. He played with West Perth, Port Adelaide, Echuca, Blackburn, Rennie, premierships. He was a Waffle Rookie of the Year and played in the North Melbourne Murray Kangaroos. He's just a really fine young man and a great ambassador for Myrtleford. Well done to Brad.